Good morning, legends. You join me here at West Coast Harley-Davidson up here in Glasgow. We are here for the Thunder in the Glens weekend. We're heading out today. We did do a lot of the riding yesterday, about 7.5 hours, but you don't want to see that. It's boring motorways. We crunched the miles yesterday to bring you some good content today, tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. We are going to head up to Aviemore, but we're doing it via Fort William. But check this place out. What an awesome dealership. They are 3 times Harley-Davidson winner for dealership of the year, and you can tell why. The hospitality here is amazing. We're upstairs having a coffee. Come inside, check it out before we get on the road. The day before, my dad and I had a solid 7.5 hours on the road from Cardiff, headed straight for West Coast Harley-Davidson in Glasgow. We arrived at the dealership 10 minutes after closing and were greeted with a hot cup of coffee and plenty of banter. There's a reason why these guys have won Dealer of the Year multiple years in a row. After that, we headed back to our hotel just to arrive back at West Coast Harley-Davidson the next morning, ready to start our journey with a hot cup of coffee and a few dealer t-shirts in our saddlebags. Time to hit the road. After leaving our gracious hosts at West Coast Harley-Davidson, it was time for us to hit the road. Headed for Inverness via Fort William, our first sight of the day was beautiful Loch Lomond. Unfortunately, for a lot of the time beforehand, the area had experienced some significant rainfall. Wet roads paired with the holiday traffic means that I was unable to film much of the scenery for you guys. For this trip, I'd opted to have a handheld camera as opposed to the helmet camera. It generally adds a nice bit of fluidity to the shot. Unfortunately, for this time, it didn't work out. Not to worry, we got plenty more cool shots coming up. With the water runoff piling off the mountain, this was really giving me some wet feet. I think it's time to stop, put my waterproofs on and warm up with a nice cup of coffee. Well, we've stopped here at Bridge of Orchy. It is, as you can see, a typical Scottish summer, which is pretty much exactly the same as a Welsh summer, so we should be used to it by now. Stopping here, it is a little bit wet, the bikes are filthy, but we're going to get in, change into full-blown waterproofs because I was wearing my summer jacket, which was a little bit waterproof, but don't know what the weather holds for us as we get up the top. Heading up to Fort William, then Inverness potentially, and then over to Aviemore. We are camping, so I'm a bit conscious of getting stuff wet and not being able to dry it. So I'm gonna head inside, warm up, dry off a little bit, change into full waterproofs, get my gaiters on so my shoes don't get wet and my socks don't get wet, and we'll get back on the road. After warming our bones at the Bridge of Orchy Cafe, it was time to hit the road, headed towards Glencoe. This incredible glen gave some of the best scenery I've ever seen on a motorbike. And after it threatening to rain multiple times, at this point I was glad I put my waterproofs on. With the ominous clouds looming around, it was inevitable that we were going to get wet. We just didn't realise how much. And at this point, I'm still concentrating on the scenery. 1 minute, we're bathing in sunshine, and the next minute, as we come around this corner, we see this dark sky and ominous rain clouds. With a little bit of time to capture the scenery before a squeaky bum time in the wet, I make the most of filming this incredible scenery. Now it's time to get down to business. Make sure all your pockets and your zippers are totally zipped up and hunker down for the ride, while still trying to film what Scotland has to offer. next stop of the trip on our way to Aviemore was the Commando Memorial, a point of interest for a couple of the guys on the trip who had served in the military. And a real highlight for me, given its historical significance and incredible vistas in the surrounding area of Speenbridge. The monument stands as a memorial to the British commandos who trained in the area of which the monument overlooks. The memorial was sculpted by Scott Sutherland, an award-winning Scottish sculptor born in Wick in the Highlands. By this point of the trip, we didn't quite make it to Inverness. Just after Fort William, we realised that we would quickly run out of time. You're required to sign in by 5 PM at Thunder in the Glens, or they close the gate. And the time we'd spent admiring the Commando statue had surely eaten into the little time we had left. We found an incredible route running cross-country back over to Aviemore that had some of the best twists and turns that I'd ridden in Scotland so far. Unfortunately, at the end of this road, there was a little accident that involved my dad and another member of the group. Unfortunately for you guys, I was unable to film it. After quickly piecing the bikes together and making sure all parties were okay, it was time for us to get our asses over to the festival site. We had tents to pitch and I had my dad to cheer up. So we finally made it here to Thunder in the Glens, to our camping spot right next to this tree. After a bit of faffery, some great roads and a bit of unfortunate incidents, but we're not gonna let it dampen our spirits, even if it does rain, because we'll be damp today already. We're going to set up next to this tree, so if me and my dad get pissed, we know roughly where our tents are. But let's see how long it takes to set these tents up, shall we? Watch two amateurs work on these tents now. Bearing in mind, neither of us have camped in probably a decade at least. Maybe multiple for my dad. Right, put you down here. The only thing I can clamp you to is my helmet. So job done. That took longer than I thought it was, but not bad. Could be what, 10-15 minutes? Job done. Right, I'm gonna set up, get all the shit from the bike and get ready. See you in a bit. After 2 long days in the saddle, 1 accident and some tent set up, there was only one thing for it. A couple of pints of Guinness with the lads. It was this bar we'd call home for the next couple of days. It even had a handy restaurant on the side serving haggis lasagna. What more could you ask for? Here we are, guys. Went out for some food. Had a haggis lasagna first for everything. It was really nice, actually. Of course, the weather has turned and it started to rain. The other lads have got a hotel. Me and my dad got a tent each. I head back to the tent and recce from there, really. But really good night. Didn't film it all. Doesn't really start tonight. It starts tomorrow. So we'll film from tomorrow. Anyway, good night. See you in the morning. Morning, viewers. Day 2, Thunder in the Glens. I look rough as anything. Didn't get to sleep till 3:30 thanks to the absolute knobheads next to us who were up all night playing music. Fair enough if it's a rally, but come on, have some decency, do you know what I mean? A few people made a complaint to them. And they finally went to bed about 3:30 in the morning. But it's taking a piss, to be honest, so not happy. Hold up. Wait a minute, before you get your keyboards out, I just want to provide some context here. It's easy to pick this apart afterwards. But this is the second night now with less than desirable amounts of sleep. My initial idea of Thunder in the Glens was that you ride to the festival and you do a whole load of riding while you're there. It seemed that most of these people had turned up in a van with a fridge full of booze just to get pissed. Not judging any of you who do this, what I have learnt from this is to take a pair of headphones. That way you can put on wherever you want and hit the sack. Hoping for a better day today. Potentially going to get on the road, but we're not too sure yet. Just going to check on the bike. Still tied up. There's not a lot of bikes here, for a tenner tents. A lot of people just trailer them in or have them in the back of a van and then just turn up. So I find kind of weird, to be honest, for a bike rally. It's a bike rally. This is the same thing as about staying up till 3:30 in the morning. Everyone just comes here to get pissed, not actually ride their bikes. It's really weird. It's like a bike rally, but you don't ride your bike. Strange. But anyway, we're gonna head back to the tent, find somewhere to have a shower and get changed, and potentially go back out on the bikes, but we'll check it out now. And with a moody morning rant out of the way, it was time to go pick up our welcome packs. As we'd arrived late the day before, and with the gates closing, we were unable to pick our welcome packs, so it's time to pick them up now. Let's just head up to the rally event to get our goodie bag. It's part of the booking, so it's £70.66 per ticket. Includes camping for 4 days, and a rally pack with a t-shirt and a badge in it. It's pretty cool. Got an extra one because Tom didn't turn up, but potentially have someone to give his pack and his ticket to. Sorry Tom, you lose out. Your own fault for not coming. Give it to one of the lads who wanted to come, who couldn't and missed out. Hopefully we can sort that out. Brucey, get your ass over here. My favourite thing so far is the Scottish breakfasts. Need a few of these back in Wales. Dad's got his little upgrade, look. He's finally got an airbed. Brucey boy over here setting up, filming when I should be helping. Oh, look at my little swimming pool. Need to get my dad some pet goldfish. And we got the proper palace on the left, look. Sun's out, but not for long. It looks like rain, to be honest. The other lads have gone out for a ride. Yeah. Well, we're going to set up here and drink a couple of beers, I think. Why not? Okay, I know what I said earlier about riding. In fairness, we just spent 2 days on the road in soaking wet conditions. It was time to spend some time with Bruce, a subscriber of the channel and a nearby resident, and enjoy a couple of beers and swap some stories. We've still got another 2 days of riding coming up. You should have to. I should.
Who's not tried the lemon yet? Tried the water moonshine yet, huh? That's the honeyberry one. The coronation. And the king has got a bottle on his shelf. You tried the lemon one? You tried this or not? Okay. How you doing, sir? Right, has anyone not tried the water moonshine?
The two guys on this stall were great. They gave us tons of samples of a locally distilled moonshine, which offered a load of different flavours. Myself and Bruce were partial to the lemon one. What do you think, Brucey?
I think the lemon one's the best one.
Yeah. What do you like, Dad?
I had a beer about that last week and a cherry.
You like that one, do you? And my dad going for the toffee. Room in the saddlebag then, is it? The biggest regret here, we got far too drunk and didn't go back to the stall to buy some, because I would love to have taken this home for myself. These guys told us that even King Charles loves a bottle of this. I don't know how true it is, but it's nice to think of King Charles sitting there drinking a little bit of Scottish moonshine. So we're here at Thunder in the Glens. It's currently pissing down outside. You can hear from the very loud atmosphere that most people are congregated in this pub. And we're sharing a beer here. Brucey. Cheers, Brucey. Go check out his channel. I'll put all the links in the description below. And my dad, all here, sharing a beer, getting out of the rain, enjoying ourselves here at Thunder in the Glens.
Creamy fucking pints.
Got myself a nice chippy black pudding sausage, nice hot bit of fish, some chips. Stevie, if you are watching this, sorry mate, you couldn't be here, but we're really enjoying this one. Get the truck out. Woo! Nice bit of scran there at the local fish and chips. Had a battered black pudding, never had one of them before, and now I'm going to be looking for it all over Cardiff, which is probably a bad thing for me. Heading back over, now the food's taking the edge off the beers, back to the pub, where hopefully the boys have done the decent thing and reserved our seats. We're going to sink a few more beers and then we're going to go and watch a live band. Can't wait. Looking forward to this one. Smile, Dad. Let's go. So after a couple of beers there in the Cairngorm Hotel, it's rather wet still. We're heading up to the main arena to go and watch a couple of bands. It is pissing down with rain. You can hear the bands in the background. Time to get out of there, get up to the arena where it's nice and warm. Let's go. Guys, that's it. Calling it an evening. Cracking night with the lads. Good to meet up with Brucey boy. With the rain coming down, it's time to head back to the tent. Nice to meet you, Tim, Vicky, Sherwood chapter, Amy as always. Lovely. Sorry I can't party with you more, but unfortunately we're in the tent tonight and it is raining. I think I'm gonna get my head down on after the lack of sleep last night. So, guys, hope you're enjoying. Tomorrow will be just a second away for you guys. Good night. Morning, legends. Day 3, maybe day 4 on the road for us, but day 3 here at Thunder in the Glens. Just been over to the activity centre, paid £5 to have a proper shower. Heading back to the tent, see what the lads want to do, maybe a ride out today, but the rain is about to come down, so we'll see what happens. And with that, we are thankfully back on the road. Although I was enjoying Thunder in the Glens, the best part about it for me is the riding and seeing what the area has to offer. Thankfully, we met up with Brucey, who is a subscriber of the channel, but a good friend of Stevie the military biker, another massive supporter of the channel. Bruce wanted to show us around the local area, capturing some of the highlights of the roads that he rides, as well as some of the famous local distilleries. At one point, I even had to stop to pick up my dad's air cleaner sock. I generally find that I'm itching to get back on the road after a day off, and although we'd already put in some serious miles for this trip, I couldn't help but want to get back into the saddle and enjoy what the area has to offer. Although it was raining in the morning, we were incredibly lucky with the weather. Bruce told me that the great thing about Aviemore is you're never too sure on the weather, and just because it's raining now doesn't mean that the sun won't come out in the next 10 minutes. Luckily for us, that is exactly what happened, and the road soon dried up. The surrounding roads in the Cairngorms offer some fantastic roads and great landmarks, including those distilleries I mentioned earlier. Thanks to Brucey for taking us around this little loop, epic little loop. A few distilleries and stuff around here. Hope you're enjoying the scenery. Massive thanks to Brucey for this cracking little run. I was glad that Bruce offered to take us for a trip. Generally, on this day, in Thunder in the Glens, they organise a huge ride out, which for me, I'm not a great fan of. I don't mind riding in smaller groups, smaller packs, and occasionally a few large packs, but a traffic jam of a couple of hundred bikes around the local area definitely put me off. Thankfully, a couple of hours in, Bruce pulled over to this coffee shop. A once disused firehouse, now turned cafe, was a pleasure to stop at, have a cake and a coffee whilst drying out before getting back on the road. Nice little stop at the old fire station. Thanks to Brucey for sorting that one out. Lovely little ride. If you're up in the area, check it out. Where is it? Tormund Towel. If you're up here, check it out. Lovely little place. Old village fire station that's been converted over into a cafe. It closed in the 60s, so they converted it into a cafe. Nice little place to stop, bike friendly. Get a cuppa and a couple of cakes or something. Then you get back on the road. We're going to go and enjoy the rest of Brucey's ride. He's hosting us and showing us around this awesome part of the world. Let's get on the bikes. Back on the road, and remember what I said earlier? about it raining one minute and sunny the next? Well, the time it took for us to have our coffee, eat our cakes and a chat, that rain was certainly catching back up with us. It was time to get our heads down, get on the road and back to Aviemore, back to camp. Trying not to drive into this horrible rainstorm. I talk a lot about being wet in this trip, but trust me, there's nothing worse than trying to dry out your wet clothes when you're camping in a tent. Time to head back to camp, sink a couple of cold beers with Bruce and the boys, whilst checking out what Thunder in the Glens has to offer. Just got back to the tent, what a cracking ride. Thanks to Brucey for taking us round. I really appreciate that, Bruce.
Yeah, no worries.
Fantastic. Just saying to him off camera, it's nice to not do what everyone else is doing. It's nice for somebody local just to come and show you around and show you the routes that they ride. I really appreciate that. Some awesome hospitality from Bruce this weekend. Really enjoyed it. Really nice ride. We weren't actually going to go out because we thought it was going to rain, but actually looks like we dodged most of the rain and barely even got wet, so can't fault it.
You scattered rain there.
I think we did, yeah. You saw the rain clouds there on the camera. It's a fantastic scenery. It makes for some awesome stuff when you're looking at it, not when you're riding it. So what we're going to do, we're probably going to get changed and go over and chill out, maybe find a pub somewhere and take a couple of cold ones. See you in a bit. Oh, and safe to say, this Pan America left an impression on Dad and myself. You could probably tell by the lack of video that I didn't take much footage at Thunder in the Glens. I think that's a reflection on how I feel about the rally. I don't think this type of rally is for me, and that's nothing on those of you who enjoy it, because my dad is certainly one of those people, and so are some of the guys we were travelling with. But for me, I prefer miles on the open road, and I think that's one of the things I actually found out during this rally. If you do enjoy bike rallies, Thunder in the Glens is definitely one for the list. It has plenty of stuff to offer, and the riding roads are incredible. I can't guarantee this awesome dog will be there, but the food in the area, as well as the riding roads and the events and atmosphere, is definitely something to try at least once. Right, end of the rally for us. We're going to head back to bed. We got a long ride tomorrow if we make it. About 11, 12 hours. We're going to try and get some early kip. Bikes are packed already. Just need to kip in the tent, get the sleeping bag, and hit the road tomorrow morning. But I want to say thank you to this absolute legend.
No worries, bud. Not a problem.
For the absolute amazing hospitality. You've looked after us, shown us around, given us such a good time. We've enjoyed it, haven't we, Dad?
Honestly, pleasure. Awesome. Yeah.
Not as much sleep, but the riding today was spectacular. Some of the places that we were riding around, we really enjoyed it. So thank you very much.
No worries.
See you on another one. Right, guys.
Again at some point, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Better weather.
Well, it's not been too bad, but yeah, can't have it all, can we?
No.
Can't have it all. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for joining us. Thunder in the Glens.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.